Not just my heart, but the rest of me jumped up in the air.
The Accelerator experience that we've had has been absolutely brilliant.
You know, it was really nice to come back to the CivTech offices. It was really nice to see everyone again and find out who had succeeded for their challenge.
I think it was almost like a reality check when we became part of the programme, because there's quite an onus on spending time with the challenge sponsor, spending time with the citizens.
And get to know them a lot better than we had the opportunity to in the first stage.
You've got meetings with various consultants coming in to advise on different aspects of running your own startup, and I think there's a beauty in just focusing on one thing, because you get so much deeper into the project. So you get much deeper connections with the sort of target audiences that you were working with.
We had decided, I think about 6 months ago, that we needed to change something, but we weren't really overly clear on what that would be. So CivTech, from our point of view, has come along at exactly the right time with, to be quite honest, pretty much exactly the right programme of workshops.
For me personally, it's odd because I've got a lot of experience, so going into it, I was like, do I really have to go to all this training? Do I really have to do all this? I've got, I should be developing this product.
I must confess, we were slightly grumping about oh God, how much time do we need to go? And
I have an MBA. I could do a business plan to the cows come home.
But actually, as you look back on it, there's some real gems in there.
As a sole trader, for me, the workshops were a big boost.
Everything has a purpose. All the different workshops, all the presentations. There's certain things that I wasn't quite sure that we needed to go along to, but I actually got a lot from them.
This was trying to approach it in a new, dynamic manner.
Both the content and the presentation of them, the people who were getting in to do it, plus the timing of them was, I think, pretty much spot on.
Just the whole thing looked a lot more modern, fresher, a different outlook on life, and more tech focused.
I can't imagine where I would ever find anything like that again. So giving up a few hours of sleep, and by few I mean probably about 3 weeks in the 10 weeks of Accelerator that we've had so far, is a fair trade in my book.
I don't think there was there probably wasn't even one session that I didn't think was useful, but there was some that were just, breathtakingly brilliant.
I mean, even from the very first ones and things like, what is your value proposition, for example? You're kind of going, well, that's pretty much the thing you need to try and sort out, because from our perspective, you're kind of going, well, we've got this cool thing, okay, so what?
Going through all of those things and then learn about OKRs, all different new ways of looking how to measure business performance, how to take those steps, looking at it from a tech perspective were really, really useful.
It's now changing maybe the direction that we're going as a company. It's making the tech development side have other opportunities that we wouldn't have had any other way.
Stuff that I thought I knew, but I actually needed that information updated, or things that I'd forgotten, or things that I'd rediscovered.
The other things that I think were extremely useful were more in the opportunity matrices and the business blueprinting, were really, really excellent at being able to just pair everything back to what you need to be able to do, and to give you some structure that you can then start to build everything else out from.
And I think has opened my eyes to a different way of doing the same thing, but I actually think it's a more effective way of doing the same thing.
Things like mission, vision and values, which, we've got our own values that we've created and kind of had over the years, but in terms of the mission and the vision, I think what we had was fine, but now things have moved under us and is now a little bit, it needs revision.
I've done a lot of presenting in my life, but I've never been on a formal course, which made me feel so uncomfortable. But that was great, because it pushed me way out of my comfort zone and made me do something differently, which I think has made me better.
So those things were really, really critical.
The workload was quite tough.
It's an intense process.
It has been a steep learning curve.
Just to kind of get our thoughts into the right frame of mind.
I have to say that I've gotten out of it much more than I've put in.
Some of the best bits were working with Justice and MyGov, and spending time with them and seeing the enthusiasm they had for what we were doing.
Suddenly you get a network of people who are keen to see what you're doing happen.
There was a lot of support, and it was actually not just a 3-month project, that support goes beyond that.
And that was great because it helped us understand that we were on the right track.
And when we started to get a feel for the strength of that, I think that was the kind of the switch point.
It's massively given us a real shot in the arm about, you know, not only how we approach things at the business level, but also it's given us a lot of excitement back about the tech that we're starting to put together and starting to build.
It surprised me, and in a good way. It's amazing what you can do when you're forced to.
So on that side, I think it's been extremely useful.
And you just wouldn't get that outside of the accelerator.